Alright, welcome in once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Phillip Island here in the Indycar Legends Racing Series. We are down under here for this round, the final international round of the season before we head back to Homestead and the rest of the United States to finish out this season. Just about arriving at the 2/3 point of the year. Greg Moore with a commanding lead on the championship, but Colton Herta second in points, closing the gap even more last week with a win at Suzuka. Really has an opportunity, I think, more than any other driver to get to Greg Moore and make him uncomfortable enough to maybe make some mistakes. You have other drivers like Alexander Rossi and Paul Tracy, few others that just have made mistakes, throughout the season, but maybe just one or two, and have kept them out of the championship lead by now a significant margin, especially after Greg Moore winning double points at the Indy 500. Speaking of which, heading on track is Greg Moore. Let's see, though, we can find quickest overall at the moment. That is going to be Alex Pagenaud. He is out 111.529 on the softer tire. Then you had three straight Newman Haas Racing cars, Michael, Mario, and Nigel, all three in a row, second, third, and fourth there in the standings. Looking very quick here. Pagenaud, a master when it comes to road course racing, has not had the best luck this year, but does remain in the top 10 in points. See Michael Andretti actually just ahead on pit lane now. Very long pit entrance road. We'll see that throughout the race. Just up ahead, here's Greg Moore. He's 7th quick right now in practice, just set his quickest lap. 112.2, just about 7/10 off of Pagenaud. Hyundai going for the move on the inside. Pretty racy here through the technical part of the track. Hyundai gonna lose a spot though to the quickest car overall here. See if Pagenaud can even make it by Greg Moore. He's looking real quick here. Makes it look easy. Wow. Pulling away, Pagenaud through the carousel. We'll take a look here at this open shot. Look at that access for the pit lane. He's coming in. There's Greg Moore. I wonder what that lap might have turned out to be. Is Greg Moore, he puts in that lap did not register for Greg Moore, so very interesting. And we got a few points contenders towards the back of the field. We got Pat O'Ward, Alex Zanardi, Montoya, Bourdais, Rossi. These guys all 30th on back right now. Maybe on the harder tire. Very tricky part of the track here. You want to push the car as much as you can up and over that hill, down into this right-hander. Hard on the gas again to take this long left-hander that seems to just go on forever, and there's multiple apexes throughout. So we're still here with Greg Moore on track, your points leader, as Pagenaud has actually hit pit lane. Let's see if we can find Mr. Mario Andretti. That's not how the season that he expects of himself. But could turn it around a bit here today. Whole team looking quick. Under 4 minutes to go here in warm-up, and we'll get to 4 laps of qualifying. We'll have to start on the tire that they qualify on, so keep an eye on that. That will be important when it comes to the race. From there, we will have 100 laps here at Phillip Island, which is just about 300 miles. Right now, Mario following in the tracks of Scott Dixon, who just set his quickest lap. Dixon now up to 11th, but certainly holding up the one car at the moment with McLaughlin right there in tow as well. So we see a lot of traffic here today, especially with the tire requirement. Fortunately, no rain though here in Australia. We'll have to be thankful for that. Overlay, I think, was slowing down the computer a bit, so we got rid of that. But just about 2 minutes now before we get to our practice session. We'll jump back to Alex Pagenaud, who's quickest overall. And if anybody goes quicker throughout qualifying, we will move along to that car in the session. It's possible Pagenaud may not even take option tires for qualifying. If that's the case, we'll go to maybe Michael or Mario or Nigel to see if that's worth following. Look at that move at the fresh tires you can make there. It's like GTP going around a GT class. Yeah, Michael just in the background of this shot. He just set his quickest lap even. 111.540, just within 100th of Pagenaud's best time. So these two might be duking it out for pole here momentarily. Duking it out. Right shot down the hill, almost like a corkscrew of sorts. Here's Michael Andretti, as we did see Pagenaud diving down pit lane. Start of the race will be at 12 p.m. local time. Qualifying here will be at 11 a.m. So we'll get that started right now. Do that just to avoid the extra lap that they would have to run. You hear the variety of animals here in Australia in the background, the different types of wildlife and particularly the birds here. I don't know what else there was. dinosaur roar. Pagenaud on track on the option tires, so we will stick with Pagenaud. So he will have a decent shot at taking first place on the grid. Excuse me. Be interesting to see though who decided to go on the prime tires. That strategy has worked time and time again this season. Car looking really good here. Setups are real nice. I think the track temp and the conditions here, ambient, are just perfect for these drivers right now. Final corner, taking the green flag. 4 laps here for Alex Pagenaud. Will he use all 4 laps? That's another question. Not required. Might see some guys split it up and do 2 and 2, or just go for 3 laps. Looking quick through the first few corners. Very fast track here at Phillip Island. Demands attention. Back-to-back hairpins here, using a lot of speed uphill. Accelerate hard out of that corner. Finding your apex. Here you go, Pagenaud. A couple corners to go, and we'll see where he fits on lap 1. One 12.651, not what he was hoping for, I am sure. Only lap 1, but he is currently 13th. Right now, someone who does need a good finish in the point standings is this driver, Sebastian Bourdais. He's now quickest overall by 0.2 for Montoya. And you have Newman Haas Racing, Mansell, and Mario Andretti with the second row. Right now, Wickens and Robbie Gordon round out the final row. Let's see what happens here though on the second lap. Colton Herta currently 8th. Not seeing Greg Moore. There he is, 14th right now, 0.6 off the quickest lap. This lap could be quicker. It's looking quick for Bourdais. He is not missing his marks. Final corner, front stretch. Across the line. 111.9 is his quickest. And 113.0 that time by nearly a second difference. So I don't see anybody going quicker unless they decided to pit for fresh tires and do a second run. It's not going to happen here at the front of the field, that's for sure. Sorry while I skipped through a little bit. See, Sam Horners Jr. is still on track. Lap 3, he's on the hard compound. Nobody decided to split this up. So Bourdais will sit on pole. Let's see. I want to find where... Okay, Joseph Newgarden. He is going to be quickest of those on the hard compound. Then Michael Andretti, Castroneves, and Tony Stewart. So Newman Haas Racing has both strategies split and covered pretty well, basically on the second row of each strategy. Across the line, there goes Newgarden. 114.0. Bourdais, he's pitting. See if anyone else is on track. Don't believe so. Sorry. Mansell going back out. The only other car, I think, is if you're on the harder compound. So, if maybe Newgarden can improve, but he went 114.0 last time by. We'll allow him to finish this lap. Oh, he is completely sideways though. Wow. He's not going to finish it. Alright, so that does it. Quickest overall pole position goes to Sebastian Bourdais. He needed that run. Getting back up into contention for the championship with a run here today. This could be huge. Greg Moore starting mid-pack. Alright, let's see if any drivers are at the back that we may expect to be more towards the front. Or maybe Alex Zanardi, Dario Franchitti. Rick Mears is quick in practice. Of course, Palou and Greg Moore. Alexander Rossi right there behind Greg Moore. He's needing a good run, so being that close back to his competitor, not the best. And even Colton Herta is only, I think, 8th. Yeah, 8th place, so gonna need a good start and try to get away from the 99 and 27, or the 7, sorry, of Alexander Rossi. Let's go ahead and get to the race. Everybody's got their laps done. Bourdais. Continues to, I think, surprise here in this series. Just once he finally puts it all together, this series is going to be on notice. You got pole at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and that is it so far. He won at Barber and Sebring. So Bourdais primed for a win here. Let's take a look at the field from our drone camera. And then we'll go ahead and get this race underway. Here you see the front row. Sebastian Bourdais and Juan Pablo Montoya alongside. Quick in practice translated here to a second row start for Nigel Mansell and Mario Andretti. You got Dan Weldon and Scott Dixon. Greg Ray, Colton Herta, AJ Foyt, and Emerson Fittipaldi round out the top 10. See 2 Penske's. You got championship leader Greg Moore. And there's Joseph Newgarden on the hard compound. So the hard compound's really outnumbering the options on the start of this race. Do not see that big of a discrepancy too often. You saw those tires, how loose Newgarden was on his 4th lap. And rounding out the end of the field, did not change as we mentioned in qualifying. That's Robert Wickens and Robbie Gordon on the final row. Robbie that.
We need to change to a new tyre compound during the race, or else we'll be disqualified. Green next time by.
Well, cars will get underway. Get one pace lap and get the green flag in just a moment. filing up down into turn 1 here for the start of 100 laps at Phillip Island. Gonna be very exciting here. Fast race. Potential for a lot of contact and close racing. I've seen it in years past. And last year's winner, Simon Pagenaud, no longer in the series. He did retire after last year. So we'll get a new winner this season. Paul Tracy was on pole. And Paul Tracy, I did not see where he is starting, but it is not where he would like to be. 37th. Oh boy. For a championship contender, he is in deep water there. So a lot of stories to follow through the day. Obviously, tire strategy being one, is nearly 2/3 of the field starting on the prime tire. Long sweeping back stretch, almost like you're going through the countryside here, through the outback. Up and over that huge hill, it's a lot more pronounced from the cockpit. And now off the final couple corners, pace car will dive in. Bourdais will lead our field to the green. And we're about to... Yes, here we go. Green flag at Phillip Island. Bourdais takes the field.
Green flag, green flag.
Patience going to have to pay off at the front early on. But Bourdais trying to get away from all the action early into turn 1. Teammates side by side. Keeping it clean early. Dan Weldon picks up a spot. Nicely done. Looks like everyone's still on track as of now. Bourdais out front. Montoya second. Mario Andretti third. Here comes the field. Into the second hairpin. Bourdais trying to extend the lead as much as he can while he has the fresh tires. Side by side almost for second. Definitely side by side though for third or for fourth. Mansell trying to get a spot back. Couldn't quite get alongside though as he had pressure from the lead. That is Greg Ray. Yeah, Greg Ray, time and time again this season has surprised us. Just hasn't got the finishes that he has, I think, been deserving of. And into turn 1, almost contact with Dixon. Whoa, man. Look at these guys just whipping through this part of the track. It is fast. Nice move by Dixon. Gets by for 6th. Back up front. Top 4 really close, especially 2nd through 4th. Dan Weldon closing up, trying to make a move maybe for 3rd. We go a little further back. Here's Colton Herta and AJ Foyt. It's going to be a battle for 8th. Can Colton Herta get by before this kink? Oh, man, it's close. Trying to clear. He'll have the inside line and will get by. Maintain the position. I think that's where Herta actually started this race. Great open shots here from our camera crew. Getting wide angle of the track. You can see where a lot of the front of the field is running. Ooh, heavy brakes. Yeah, the tires almost locking up. Heavy grip. This IndyCar has produced tons of downforce. Back up this hill, the elevation. Let's go on board with Montoya here. Take a look what it's like at Phillip Island when you're riding right behind the leader, Sebastian Bourdais. They are side by side right now. Mario Andretti looking to make a pass. Montoya's gonna got the inside line though. Maintain the spot. Bourdais was slow into turn one, which allowed them to close up and cause a bit of a stack up and gave Mario that opportunity. Now on board with Mario from third. See that crest of the hill and how much you drop down into this bowl. Let's try this one more time with Mario now. Can Mario get another run? You're gonna register lap 5 on the board as you come by the start-finish line. As close this time up front, but Mario does inch a little closer to the rear wing of Montoya. Alright, let's go back to check the rest of the field as things are settling down a bit. Colton Herta now finds his way up to 7th. So yeah, getting around Greg Ray, and then we see a pass here with teammates. McLaughlin and Will Power trying to dispute over 11th, while Alexander Rossi and Greg Moore right behind them. Greg Moore has got up to 14th now from his starting spot. Looking to crack the top 10 before the pit stops, and Rossi gets another one. Nice move by McLaughlin off of the final corner into one. Must have used push to pass there. And Greg Moore, see if he can do the same thing. Let's go a little further back. Here's Castro Neves. He's the first car on hard compound. Vassar looks like he might be the last car on the softer tire. And you got Greg Moore, Tony Stewart back there. So, appears, oh, they qualified somewhat well. The tires just not doing what they were hoping, at least early on yet, for this harder compound. Up front, side by side, Montoya is looking for the position. He might get it. Down the front stretch. See Mario. Keeping it clean so far. These three have really been fighting, and now Montoya is going to lose the spot to Mario. But fighting back, he might get the position into the hairpin. On the inside. Mario's gonna have the inside now to the next corner, but does not get alongside enough and loses the spot back to Montoya. Nice drive by the number 6 McLaren. Keeping himself in second behind Bourdais. Whoa boy, Bourdais was completely sideways. And I think that's maybe what prompted the initial pass, was how sideways Bourdais is getting. Whoa, Montoya really sending it there. Looking for all sorts of ways to get by now. He's not desperate, but he's showing his car can kind of go wherever it wants. And that should scare / worry Bourdais, and I think other cars behind him are pretty quick too. Got Dixon and Herta back in this group. We know they're fast. The majority of the top 15, I would say, are still intact here. So Jacques Villeneuve on pit lane. He's going to be the first to jump off those hard compound tires. I'm not sure if he's pitting a second time, maybe. He had a speeding penalty. I'll have to see. The other cars, I think, like Danny Sullivan and Robert Wickens, they've already pit. Yeah, Hunter Ray, Hornish Jr. Villeneuve, I think, had a stop and go, or might have had a wreck. He's back on track. There's Dixon inside, almost contact with Mansell. Oof. Back up front. It's dangerous there in a turn one, but these guys keep trying for it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But everybody keeping it on track so far, which is great to see. Bourdais creating a slight gap at the moment. Scott Dixon in 6th. He's got Colton Herta just behind him, and Herta looking a little bit to the inside into that corner. It's got to have a name. I'm not sure what it is, but a corner like that deserves a name for sure. Up front, Montoya looking, can't quite get there. Now maybe inside, no. So what happened here? See a few guys definitely getting, seems to be pit road speeding penalties. Let's see if we can check this out. No current penalties. Some sort of issue. That could come up for some of these leaders. Keep an eye on that, as see a few cars have struggled here on pit lane, and I think if I'm seeing this right, is Villeneuve even disqualified out of the race? I'm not sure. Something happened. Villeneuve is one lap down. Seems like he's back on track somewhere midfield. But up front again, battle continues. Montoya is right there. Bit of separation now. The top 5 through the rest of the top 10. They're getting away. I'd like to go back and look at that battle, but up front it is just too tense. Not sure what we're looking at as far as fuel tanks and how many laps they can make it. Wow, completely sideways there. See if we can go up above for a lap. I want to see just how loose Bourdais is getting, because he looks like he is very loose compared to Montoya. Aerial V is brought to you by the Goodyear blimp, of course. Top 6 all in a row. That is Bourdais, Montoya, Mario Andretti, Dan Weldon, Nigel Mansell, and Colton Herta. Colton Herta, of course, last week's winner at Suzuka. Trying to keep up that momentum, but this is the part of the track I'm interested to see. Look at how loose Bourdais is. Oh my god. Weldon as well. Let's put up this next corner. You got the kink here in the backstretch, but this here, the elevation change, this is where Bourdais has been getting very sideways. Completely sideways there. Meanwhile, Montoya's got the car under control, and that is going to wear out those rear tires for Bourdais towards the end of this run. We're seeing it lap after lap. I'm amazed, honestly, that he's able to hold on to it and not wreck the car. But here we are off the final corner. I think Montoya's got a huge run. Might be enough to get by. Let's send it into one. Can he get there? No, Bourdais says not today, not this time by. Now Andretti stacking up a bit too. See if we can go on board again with Montoya. I want to see what this looks like on board. Go up. Oh my goodness. Oh, Montoya with a little twitch there. Car getting light. And now doesn't have enough to get close on the front. It doesn't look like it. Wow. I don't know how Bourdais is driving his car like that. It's pretty incredible. Kudos to him. Haters are your motivators. Interesting here on the 118 of Sebastian Bourdais. That rear wing is not matching up quite right, so I do apologize for the inconsistency on the rear wing paint. Might be an older car, or I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know what the deal is. Hello has gotten by Will Power, so he's going to try to track down this top 6. And Greg Ray has lost a lot of spots. He's back to 16. Castroneves up to 13th on the prime tire. Look at Montoya, very close this time through, and now pass maybe for 5th with Colton Herta. Looking inside on Mansell. Can he get it done on the outside here through the hairpin, though? Not going to be easy, but he does have the grip and the speed. He's going to stay alongside into this one. He's there. Mansell not making it easy. Herta fighting hard. He's there. He's going to get the spot. Up to 5th. Nope, not yet. Spoke too soon. Mansell holds him off. Wow. Tough to pass here. And there goes Montoya. He said, enough's enough. I'm losing time here. Hello also coming in. Rossi up to 9th. He's now 8th. Technically would have been 10th before a couple cars pit. Here comes power around AJ Foyt. And now Colton Herta does get by Mansell. A lot of positions changing here right before pit stops. And in fact, I think Will Power and company are quicker than the front 5. By a decent amount, too. Look at this. These guys are closing quickly. Fastest lap of the first 15 laps, I should say, is Nigel Mansell running in 5th at 112.428. Leaders fast lap 112.513. Usually see the leader with that quick lap. Mansell got some pace back there in that Newman Haas Racing. And 1st and 2nd, 3rd, 4th, everybody responding. I think this is the fuel tank limit, in fact. So it's not even a tire. It's not an option now. Here's Michael Andretti on the hard compound. Okay, let's keep an eye on this. Takuma Sato. Here comes Bourdais out of pit lane. I think I hear that's Montoya. He's getting by for the lead. Technically, once everything cycles out, and then right here, hello, swings by Mario Andretti into turn 1. Is this Ray? Wow, up into 5th. Technically will be 3rd. Huh. So here we go. Here's Montoya. Technically your leader. Then Bourdais, Ray, hello. That's Mansell, Weldon, Will Power, Colton Herta. He dropped back a bit. How many of these guys are now on the option tire, too? Looks like Bourdais went to the hard compound. So that's going to be an interesting strategy call. As Montoya already put in a pretty decent gap, nearly 3 seconds between himself. And I think Michael Andretti's on pit lane. He's got a problem. Hello for 3rd. He was quickest in practice. We knew he'd be quick, did not have the best qualifying run. Looks like someone went off in this corner here up in the sand trap. Might have to do with Michael Andretti. Let's see if we can find Michael. 66. No, it wasn't Mike. Somebody went off, though. A lot of racing through this part of the field. It is amazing. I wish we had side-by-side cameras. But here again, up front, that's Montoya. And here's the battle for 2nd. Pagenaud and Bourdais. Pagenaud on the softer tires should be able to find his way by Hunter Ray on older tires. So Mario Andretti definitely going to be quicker. He should get by down the straight. Does so pretty easily. Will Power also getting by Mansell. And Rossi gets by Colton Herta. Colton Herta on the hard compound. So is Mansell. So lead growing up front. 3.2 now for Montoya as Bourdais holding up the field on the harder tire, but salvaging his race. Looks like Hornish Jr. might have had an incident. He's out. Let's see if we can find Hornish. I did see some tire marks off in turn 1, and it would not surprise me if that's where they came from. Yeah, that's it. Goes to make a move, has to dodge late as Sullivan hit the brakes when he wasn't expecting. Goes out wide. Hard on the gas, wow. It's back on track, goes across the field. Oof! My God. Done for the day. Jesus Christ. Montoya, another 4/10 this lap. It's like Mario, though. He's gotten back by Pagenaud. There's a battle with Mansell and Foyt. Not so much a battle as Foyt's just getting by Mansell with the red sidewall tires. Those option tires definitely quicker. Not working so well for Mansell. Working pretty good for Bourdais, though. He's got a quick car, so he's able to hold on a bit better, I think, than some of the other drivers and hold off Mario Andretti and Alex Pagenaud on better tires. So that's saying a lot right now. Not keeping up with Montoya. That's not his goal. I think he knows that will come back to him as Montoya will have to pit for these same tires at some point in this race. So it was Danny Sullivan and Sam Hornish Jr. that made contact, and Hornish resulting in a DNF here, first DNF of the day. Hopefully cleared and released from the medical center soon. It was a pretty heavy hit. Panther Racing entry. Seeing some marbles kicking up now through some of the track. Getting some laps on the surface, and anything offline is turning into a bit of a no man's land, I would say. Almost like the Outback. Very clear day here in Australia. The clouds just slowly going overhead, very high in the sky, though no chance of rain. Right off the coast here. Drivers beginning lap 22 of 100. I think Mario at this point is either waiting until Bourdais' tires fall completely off, or that crossover is already happening here. And it's in fact Mario who's now struggling for grip. It seems like that might be the case because Pagenaud putting the pressure on. See what Pagenaud has down the front stretch. He's close to Mario. Will Power closing up behind as well. This is going to be a battle off into turn 1. Number 12, Horizon to the outside, maybe. It's going to get there. Oh, pinched off the nose. Close call. Could have been catastrophic for both those guys, especially at the speeds they hit into turn 1. Will Power, he's looking quick in this part of the race. It's part of the world. Something about being in your home region just turns it up sometimes for some drivers. Look at Pagenaud again. Looking, oh, almost got into the rear of Mario there. As Mario got a little sideways, went out a little further wide, I think, than Pagenaud expected. Montoya continues to lead. So just here, 4 seconds ahead. We're in a 1:15.2 that time by. Bourdais a 1:15.4. Very sideways there. Here the tires working real hard on our leader Montoya. Halfway through again, another run. Pagenaud trying to set up a move off that hill and down into that sharp right-hand corner. If he can get to the inside, it seems like lap after lap, he's trying to get there. Difficult to do, though. I think turn 1's probably the safest bet. It's a little risky. Definitely get the most time to set up the move. Here comes McLaughlin outside of Mansell. He's going to get it done and up to 9th. And look at the outside now of Rossi. All at once, he's on the harder compound, making it work. What a move by the 2. Or the 3, I mean. Great pass by McLaughlin. Gets it done. Rossi drops back to 9th. Still ahead, though, of Nigel Mansell and Colton Herta. There you see Greg Moore in 12th. Castroneves, he's gone for the hard compounds, back-to-back runs. He doesn't even care. There's Michael Andretti in 17th. I think Newgarden had some high hopes for this race. He's dropped back to 21st. Greg Ray, probably the worst falling back so far. 22nd from, I believe, 6th or so. Potential pass here. We'll stick with Zanardi making a move around Gilles de Ferrin. He gets it done. Seems like the gap is closing up front. Let's check on this. Yeah, last time by, Sullivan just pit again. So he's now in front of Montoya. But Bourdais is quicker by about 3/10 a lap now. Those harder compounds are coming to life in this run. And the soft compounds are falling off. Let's see where we're at this time. 115.6 to a 115.2. Here's Willpower again with Dan Weldon. Dan Weldon is going to hold the inside. The outside line here is working for a lot of drivers, and I think the message got sent to the 12 team. Go wide. Make the pass. Oh, look at this, though. Does Dan Weldon have enough in front? No. Power's going to get by. And I think Rossi held off Herta, but Mansell has gotten by with the hard compound. Look at McLaughlin now on AJ Foyt. Track temperature's going up a bit, and like we saw, a lot of rubber being laid down. For Willpower now, you gotta get away from Dan Weldon. Hello, very close this time by to the rear wing of Andretti, but not gonna make a move. Here's your leader. Montoya 115.7, Bourdais 115.5. Not a huge difference that time by. But pit stops will be any lap now. Not terribly sideways for the 6 car. Saw a lot worse out of Bourdais on his run. So there's the gap. 3 seconds between first and second. Thought I saw Sullivan go off track, but Montoya continues to lead. He's done a great job here in the second stint. Pit a lap before, or no, Bourdais pit. I'm sorry, Montoya did pit a lap before Bourdais, and that is what got him the lead. And Bourdais on the harder compound, although coming back at the end of this run, definitely at a disadvantage. You got Pagenaud just hounding Mario Andretti. Low power, maybe the quickest car in the top 10. Trying to chase these guys down. Oh, I thought Pagenaud might have had a shot there. It's McLaughlin, no. Does Herta, no. Just not working there. I don't think it's worth even trying to set up that pass. Cross line, 115.594, basically a 115.6. Wow, to a 114.774. Nearly a second difference that time by. Coming right at the end of the run, though. The last 5 laps. It's almost too little, too late if you're trying to use that as your go-to tire for the race. And be at 70 laps to go. It's the next time by. And that lap was about 3.5 tenths difference. Gap now under 2 seconds for Bourdais. Let's go on board with this 118. Like a cheetah hunting a gazelle. You know he's quicker, but will he catch him? Two of the best road racers, I'd say, of all time, with Juan Pablo Montoya and Sebastian Bourdais. By the way, it appears Alex Palou has gotten by Mario Andretti. Now Will Power closing up on Mario. Ooh, wow. It's completely crossed there. I don't see that in an IndyCar often. And pit stop for Montoya. It worked for him last time. Let's see how long Bourdais decides to keep his car out. I think Palou has pit as well. And then Will Power actually... Oh, no, okay. He's still trying to get by Mario. Yeah, Palou had gone by. Here's Dan Weldon trying to hold off McLaughlin. And Nigel Mansell. These guys are so fast right now on these hard tires. It's just very, I think, almost unexpected. We've seen it a little bit at some tracks, but this is maybe the biggest crossover with tire compounds we've seen. There you go. McLaughlin got it done. One of the first cars to really make it work there on the outside. Now he goes for the pits right in front of him. What a... Oh. There are terms for that. I would be all over the radio if I were Dan Weldon, that's for sure. And now side by side here, Rossi, Fittipaldi, or no, Castroneves, sorry. Castroneves up in front of Rossi on the hard compound. He's been on it all race, in fact. Somehow working out to his advantage. I don't know. IndyCar Legends Racing Series, ILRS, that is what this series is about, though. The best drivers, the best teams figuring it out. Live here on air. Only one incident to report, and that's Hornish Jr. Villeneuve had some problems. I don't know if it was tire related or penalties. I never were able to get a clear answer on that. Save Takuma Sato. It looks like he'll stay out. Yeah. He's got another lap. Yeah, and then here we go. Montoya. First to a pit. There he is. Then you got Villeneuve. Is many laps down. Bourdais getting by. Wow. AJ Foyt. Is he up to third? AJ Foyt with a huge jump. He pit a bit earlier, so got some really quick laps, and you'll maybe feel the repercussions on the tail end of this run. Excuse Excuse me. Hunter Ray, same thing. He actually pit really early in the race off the hard compound. It's working out for him so far. Martin Andretti, he is now in 7th. There's Power McLaughlin. Polo tracing down AJ Foyt, and you got Bourdais, who is 4.5 seconds back of Juan Montoya. Sato down pit lane. This will give the lead back to Montoya officially. Also see Villeneuve down pit lane. And side by side back here into turn 1. I think that's going to be Pelot to the outside of Foyt. Can't get there. He didn't quite hit his entry right, and Foyt holds off Pelot for another lap. Mario Andretti pulling away from Hunter Ray. Yeah, so back to the lead. Juan Pablo Montoya here at Phillip Island, and we will be 65 to go as we cross the line this time by. Definitely led the most laps so far. Nigel Mansell, I believe, with the quickest lap of the race. Still got to hit the hard compounds here with the 6 team. See when he decides to make that change. Dixon on pit lane going a lap down. I see Castro Neves as well. If we had contact, perhaps. I'm not sure. So we can find Scott Dixon. Alright, so this was out of pit lane. This will just explain everything. Contact. Yep. Heavy contact. Oh, excuse me. Out of pit lane. Ooh. Damage there between Castro Neves and Dixon. That'll do it. Now struggling to get back up to speed among all the lead lap cars. These guys are mid-pack in the 20s, so fighting hard for position. Meanwhile, Montoya on a mission up front. 3.8 is the gap. Bourdais, half a second quicker that time by. Keep an eye on it. It's got a lap fresher tires, but half a second lap quicker. It's pretty significant. No cautions yet. Had a few incidents through turns 1, 2, and 3. And that was expected. That is the fastest part of the track and probably the best passing spot, so bound to have some contact take place. Montoya, 1:15.0, and Bourdais, pretty close, matching that pace. Not much quicker though, so that's a bit of a relief for the McLaren team. bit further back. Here's Pagenaud trying to hold off AJ Foyt. Got Mario Andretti trying to get by. I think Pagenaud has actually made the pass. So that puts him up to third. Can Mario get it done here on the outside? Whoa, wow, what a move. Takes a lot of courage to try something like that. Let's go on board here. See what it's like to pass at Phillip Island. It's gonna happen this next lap, I'm almost sure. Maybe here into turn one even. How hair-raising it can be. Foyt gave him a generous amount of room. I think he even backed out early. Mario gets by and moves up into fourth. Well, Bourdais, another 10th quicker that time by. Just chipping away at the lead that Montoya has been able to produce over the first 39 laps. And Scott Dixon back out on track again. I don't know if he had more damage. We'll have to check that in post-race. He's just pit again. Yeah, something wrong with the 9 team. Great drive here by Montoya, and actually, great lap there. Put a bit of distance between himself and Bourdais, 7/10 quicker. So, finding something, maybe working on the in-car settings with the ARB, getting a little extra grip and drive off the corners. We are now getting reports, though, of debris in turn 1, or actually turn 2, where we had that contact between Dixon and it was Dixon and Castro Neves. Danny Sullivan just pit. Now we are gonna be getting a caution flag here. There is debris in turn 2 that needs to be picked up. Danny Sullivan just drove through it on pit exit. So it's not so much on the racing line, but the pit line. And
the yellow flag is out.
That will be our first caution of the day at 41 with 60 laps to go. 59 when we cross the line. Juan Montoya leading the race. This will give Danny Sullivan the wave around. He just pit, went a lap down. He's the first car lap down. And Castro Neves has just got to be thinking, are you serious? Because he would have gotten his lap back. So we'll go here to Sullivan. He'll get the wave around. There's the front of the field. Wow. Reorders everything with just about the halfway point. Doesn't reorder, but brings everyone back in order, I would say. So we got Montoya, Bourdais, Pelot, Andretti, Foyt, Power, Dan Weldon, Scott McLaughlin, Colton Herta, and Nigel Mansell. That's your top 10. Heck of a top 10. Wow. Rossi, Franchitti, Greg Moore, Rick Mears, Michael Andretti. That's your top 15. Joseph Newgarden, Emerson Fittipaldi, Takuma Sato, Greg Ray, Kenny Braga. That's the first half of the field. Further on back, Stuart Paddle Award, Unser Jr., Bobby Rahal, Alex Zanardi, Gilles de Ferrin, R.A. Leindyke, Paul Tracy, Tony Kanaan, and Jimmy Vasser. Then the final 10 cars in the field. That's going to be Robbie Gordon, Buddy Lazier, Hunter Ray, James Hinchcliffe, Robert Wickens, Danny Sullivan just got his lap back. The 37th, 1 lap down, that's Elio Castroneves, Scott Dixon 1 lap down. Jacques Villeneuve 3 laps down, in 39th. And then Sam Hornish out of the race in 40th. Only car out so far. Now, the big question is, who comes down pit lane? Leaders, they're staying out. You might be able to make it on some weird strategy from here to the end. So let's see who this is. It's a DeFer and Tracy, Vasser, Villeneuve, Lazier, and Wickens. Okay. Keep an eye on that. If you think about the pit window, right about 15 laps, right? We're at 60 to go. I think that's 3 stops. And these guys all have to make 4. We'll see. You go green this time by. Just a quick cleanup for debris there in turns 1 and 2. A little short straightaway where there was contact maybe between Scott Dixon and Elio Castroneves that has basically handcuffed the rest of their race. They are 1 lap down, and the only 2 cars a lap down. Not going to be able to make that time up. Looks like it's just past 1 p.m. local time, if I'm seeing that right. Let me just take a look. Yeah, 1:02 local time here. Down under. About to take the green flag. 57 laps to go. Anything can happen. Montoya, good jump. Fields away.
Green flag, green flag.
Let's clear any penalties here. Nothing showing. So get the field as they come through. Look at the battle in the back of the field, side by side, all the way through the tail end. It's like they started side by side back there. Bourdais, see if he can strike early in this run. Whoa, look at Pagenaud. Tried to send it, maybe catch Bourdais off guard, but Bourdais was quick enough through that part of the track. Otherwise, that could have been a pass for second. Clouds coming over the track for the first time today. I don't know who this is. Saw someone, AJ Foyt down pit lane. Side by side, that's going to be Mansell and Rossi. Rossi's going to get it done into turn one. Clear. Now it's Dario Franchitti. Some reflections off these cars right now make it kind of difficult. Quickest lap now goes to Alex Pagenaud, while Mario Andretti almost looks for a way by on the inside. Back here, Colton Herta. Inside on McLaughlin. Gonna be cleared into the hairpin. What a move. So Bourdais staying close with Montoya's pit stops are moments away with everyone tightly packed together. Bourdais with a good run through turn one. Closes the gap a bit, but gonna have to worry about exit now. Montoya continues to pull away. It's got a half-second gap now on Bourdais. Like we've mentioned, pit stops are imminent. Maybe go an extra lap here with the caution flag. You see how much ground Bourdais makes up through this part of the track. Like the aero setup is totally different on these cars. Now nose to tail. I don't think you want to be this close coming up on pit stops, because the way these pit stops work in iRacing, they get jammed up when you're behind another car and they turn into their box. It seems like the car behind has to hesitate for a bit. Really slow up their overall pit time and lose spots on track. What happens this time by? Anybody take the bait? Not in the top five. We can see Bobby Rahal, he's pit. Greg Ray, AJ Foyt, looks like Robert Wickens. Oh, these guys have, they're already back with the field. So there's some interesting strategies playing out in the back of the field. Let's say that. They've got to keep it within the window, though, that when these leaders pit, they'll be able to pass them on pit lane and then also hold them off for that last run when they have the fresher tires. Pagenaud, very aggressive. He really tries to make a move here lap after lap. Montoya's still got to go to the hard compound too, so that's something to keep an eye on. There's Pagenaud. He's hitting pit lane. I think he knows he can be quicker to get some clean air, so gonna take the dive to pit lane early. I think it's the right call. Comes Colton Herta. Does he have enough to get by Dan Weldon? No. Look at this up front. Bourdais outside. He's side by side now with Montoya. First time all race we've had this battle. Looking. Is he going to move into the hairpin? No. Montoya closes the door. Now, Mario Andretti and Will Power have closed up to make this a 4-car fight at the front. Plus, when Pagenaud re-enters this battle, will he be leading it? Because this one lap could be all it takes. I think we'll see Montoya. Oh, Bourdais stays out. Wow. Montoya pits. Oh, Will Power, aggressive move on Andretti. He's going to get it done. Side by side, cut him off into the hairpin. He's got it. Exit up the hill. What a pass by Will Power right before pit stops, too. That's huge. You see Andretti was losing pace and Bourdais pulling away a bit, so Will Power is like, I got to go, bud. See Andretti sliding through that corner. Good indication of when the tires are going. So, here's Bourdais. He's pitting. Will Power staying out. And he's going to get some space, I think, between himself and Mario now. While we have a moment, I want to see where this is. Yeah, okay. This is the battle for the lead right now. Montoya and Pagenaud. Montoya again on the softer tires. Did not go to the hard compound yet. This is going to be right at halfway. 50 laps to go when they cross the line. Getting by Bourdais. There's Foyt, Mansell, Greg Moore. Wow. Colton Herta. Greg Moore having a pretty solid run here. Your points leader got a 100-point lead, plus 100-point lead. You can see the top 10 standings in the description. But he is dominating the championship at this rate. He was already leading the championship, but then got the double points win at Indianapolis. There are 2 more double points races before this season is up, so not over by any means. And back after today. We'll be back in Homestead in a few weeks. Then taking to the Daytona Road Course for 500 miles. That will be double points. And there they go by Will Power. Will Power's out of the pits. Andretti's out of the pits. He's gonna maybe make contact with his teammate. Oh god. Not the guy you want to come out of the pits next to. Sometimes you can work it out with your teammate, but oh, looks like someone made contact. There's definitely a car off track there. Let's see if we can track that down. And Mario now getting the move back on Nigel. There goes Colton Herta too. AJ Foyt, harder compound tires, got like half a run already done too. He's well off pace, so Mario might be able to make this move on the outside through this corner. So it's a very exciting attempt. Colton Herta, though, makes it side by side. He wants the position into the long left-hander. He's going to get it. What a pass by Colton Herta. Well done. Now he's going to go focus on AJ Foyt, but Mario turns on the push to pass. Big time battle into turn one. Both drivers trying to get by a slower AJ Foyt, and Herta's got the outside line and gonna make it work. Gets by. Mario's now gonna follow through. But it's already been, the pass has been made, and it's hard to catch back up to Herta after that. Now, go to the front. Whoa, Sebastian Bourdais, I thought he was going off track there. This is your top three once the cars in front of them pit. Then you have 7 cars yet to pit. That's Robert Wickens, there's Vassar, Buddy Lazier, Paul Tracy, Danny Sullivan, James Hinchcliffe, and Ryan Hunter-Reay. I think Hinchcliffe and Sullivan are probably in the best position of these drivers. Maybe Paul Tracy, just because he's probably got more pace. We know Vassar's quick. Paul Tracy might be in a good spot. Maybe sit on the podium at the very least. I think he can probably get by Sullivan. Will this strategy play out? And it's interesting. But then here is everyone else that's kind of already on the same strategy now. Just catching up. Faster tires. 10 seconds the gap. Hinchcliffe, I think. Not Hinchcliffe, Hunter-Reay, he's on pit lane. Look at Will Power closing up on the front three. Yeah, he's there. Here's Montoya now, caught up to Robert Wickens. This is technically for 6th place. It is for position. Wickens yet to pit. Oh, Montoya really using the outside line there. I think they're trying to add another line for later in the race, something they can use more regularly as the inside line is just worn out with how many cars have ran through it. Almost like looking for, you know, the offline in a rain race. Look at this for third. Will Power is looking on Pagenaud. It's going to get it done. And not that much pushback, I would say, from Pagenaud. Oh, and as I say that, Pagenaud keeping it interesting there on the outside, but Power's got a lot of pace here. Can he send it in? Inside typically prevails there, and it will. Now you see Bourdais, he's gotten by Robert Wickens. Montoya, 4 seconds back now of Jimmy Vasser. Sullivan, meanwhile, has taken over the lead, and they're pitting. Jimmy Vasser now, the next car to... Actually, will be the last car remaining to pit. 44 laps left here at Phillip Island. Goes Will Power, he's getting by Wickens. This will be your leader in a moment's time. Montoya, then Bourdais, Pagenaud, and Power. Looks like Colton Herta will be the top 5. Here's Colton Herta. He's got Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, Scott McLaughlin, and Dan Weldon. That's going to be the top 10. Craig Moore trying to hold on and salvage a decent run, if not a top 10, at least just outside the top 10. Rossi's got fresher tires and they're hard compound. I think he's going to have his way with Craig Moore momentarily. Oh, excuse me. Out front, here's Pagenaud. Maybe looking for a way behind Bourdais. Seems to be a bit quicker here. And Colton Herta and company actually closing up. There goes Will Power making a move. Can he make it stick? He's got the unpreferred line. And a lot of marbles in that corner now. Just couldn't make it work. But Bourdais definitely off pace and losing time now to Juan Montoya. Whoa, completely sideways. Oh, almost a crash there. See that checkup? Whoa. Let's go on board. This is Pagenaud behind Bourdais. We'll get an idea of what Bourdais is dealing with. Does it look bad at that last time? Up and over that long left-hander. Try to close up again before getting to. Oh wow, looks like Montoya may have had a problem, but see how close we can get here before this next uphill left. So the problem spot's been for Bourdais. Unbelievable. I don't even understand how he's holding that car together. Do a lap of Bourdais, why not? See the difference between handling. Faster pit lane now. That is close on pit stops. I don't know how that's gonna play out. Definitely lifting a lot more and loose through that lefty. Couldn't quite get to the gas like Pagenaud did. Defensive line. One-tenth gap back right now. Completely locked sideways. Somehow he's saving that lap after lap. I don't know how. Oh my gosh. To do that in an IndyCar is... I don't know if it's possible, honestly. But we got a huge train now formed up behind Bourdais. Car's desperate to get by. We got Pagenaud, Power, Herta, Mario Andretti, Scott McLaughlin. All looking for a way by, and in the same breath, passing each other. Power might lose a couple spots if he can't get back in line. And he will. Herta being patient. Oh, Pagenaud's got a good shot. Doesn't lunge for the position, though. 4 seconds now, the gap. Montoya to Bourdais, it is just continued to grow, and it's amazing to me that these guys are not able to get by Bourdais unless they've used all their push to pass or are saving it for the final run. But just not able to get the run they need here into turn 1. Herta looking on Power. He's gonna get there. Power's gonna lose a spot. Colton Herta up to 4th. Nice job. And it looks like Mario might even try to follow. He's not gonna have enough momentum. So Colton Herta, he might have something for these two. Or to use his hard compound. One driver that hasn't, we know, is Montoya up front. Oh my god, he's completely sideways. And somehow holding on. Nearly a second slower that lap. And if you're Pagenaud, Herta, these guys, at some point you gotta think, is it worth it just to come in? What? You gotta think pit stops too. Five-second lead now. Here he goes. Pagenaud's gonna go to the outside. He's definitely got it here. Gonna make the pass. Herta, though, not close enough to capitalize as he would have liked to have been. Pagenaud, not quite there, though. Might be able to get it here. Let's see. Yeah, he's clear. Completely sideways through the uphill left. Oh my god. Drifting. Already a half-second gap was formed between Bourdais and Pagenaud. It's a miracle what that 18 car is doing right now. So if you're below, now that you're by, I think pitting this lap is maybe a good idea, but he stays out, as does the rest of the field. Can Colton Herta get it done on the straightaway? He is very close, a lot closer than Pagenaud ever was down this front stretch. Not gonna make the move though. I think he might try it on the outside in 2. Nope, stays in line. Here's Montoya. It's got 14 seconds up to lap traffic, which is Paul Tracy. Last year's pole sitter, not having a good run. Gap continues to grow from 2nd to 3rd. Keep an eye on the lap times between Montoya and Pagenaud as those start to register. And this time by will be very indicative of where they're at. But pit stops likely coming here. If not this lap, then the lap after. Does Colton Herta have enough? No, almost. Montoya stays out. Pagenaud, what does he do? Pit lane. Good call. I think that's the right call if you're Pagenaud. Now, does Herta have enough this time? No, you gotta be like basically alongside at the start-finish line. And Herta, though, not quite as confident in that outside move, it seems. 7-second gap now. First to second. Let's go back here. This looks like Franchitti trying to hold off for... Yeah, he's holding off Weldon, I think. Maybe he got by. Hard to tell, we weren't on it, but close battle there. Franchitti out front now. Look at that. Bourdais, really defensive line. Continues on track, Montoya. Everyone else staying out. 35 remain. Herta closing up still. Looks like Rossi getting by Weldon in the background. Wow, they were 1.3 seconds slower than the leader that time by. Huge difference. And he's still got to use hard compound tires, but at this rate, it's not even a concern for him. Let's see if we can find Pagenaud. He's out on his 2nd lap on these new tires. He's got a bit of traffic in front. There's Montoya. Does he go to the hard compounds? There goes Herta. It's the right call. Same for McLaughlin. Bourdais really extending these runs. Look at Will Power. Very aggressive. Wasting no time. Gets by for the lead of the race. Number 12 to the front. It's Mario Andretti in 3rd. Alexander Rossi closing up in 4th. He's on the hard compound. He's right here with the leaders now. Sideways. Oh, someone went off there big. Wow. That looks scary. Here's Pullo. Here's Montoya. And he's out in front of Pullo. Colton Herta way back. He must have had a terrible pit stop. Same with Scott McLaughlin. But they will be able to catch up because there's a lot of lap traffic right now. Here's Montoya. Getting by Lazier. He's R4 position. Keeping an eye out for Bourdais. It's gotta be pitting soon. Oh, he did. He just came out. Oh, man. 19. Heavy traffic. Behind Willpower, McLaughlin. So Willpower, he's closing back to Colton Herta. Now we jump forward a bit. See Alex Pullo. He's trying to get by Vassar here down the front stretch. Oh, Vassar, a little bit of blocking, it seems. Here's Montoya. That's the gap, basically, for the lead. Pullo to Montoya. And Montoya is on the hard compound tires. So this is the time that Pullo needs to get by these guys. Get back in front. It seems like maybe Montoya just timed this perfectly. Pullo looking desperately for a way by down the front stretch here on Vassar. Goes to the inside. He's gonna get there. Send it up the outside. Nicely done by the 10. Scary as it is, he got it. Castro Neves, he's back in this battle. Same with Dixon. Laps down. Unfortunate for both of them as they had contact earlier. See, that's Castro Neves actually going for a move on AJ Foyt, not for position. Now, Montoya is running about 2 seconds a lap quicker than Pullo. Well, we had some interesting incidents that we're going to have to take a look at post-race. Colton Herta getting by Scott Dixon. He's flying right now. Like, look at him. He's, I think, going to be up here to Pullo very quickly. I think he could be a problem for maybe even Montoya by the time this is all said and done. So Hinchcliffe just got past for the lead. Likely pitting in the next lap or so. 30 laps remain. How the pit stops work out will be very interesting. Colton Herta is flying right now. Coming up now on AJ Foyt and Jimmy Vassar. He's going to go for a move on AJ to the outside in turn 1. He's going to get this done. Almost. Sorry. Oh, Foyt almost loses it. It's going to keep the momentum on the outside, maybe keep Herta back, but Herta does have the fresher tires. Might be able to stay to Foyt's outside, make it into the next hairpin? No, not quite. Hello, working Danny Sullivan. Sullivan got his lap back in the one caution we have this race and has really turned his entire run around and working a strategy now that may land him a top 5, even top 10 finish. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, nice run by Herta off the final corner. Is it enough this time to get by? Look at Pagenaud. Not quite. Herta though, yes. Puts another spot between himself and Bourdais, but Bourdais looks like he's gonna maybe not quite. I thought he was gonna get to the outside of AJ Foyt. Couldn't quite get there. Now Pagenaud. Trying to get by Sullivan as Herta is going to close very quickly. Fresher tires. And about a second of clean air in front of him. Fastest lap of the race right now belongs to Alex Pagenaud. You see Sullivan pitting. If you're Pagenaud, you gotta think about time. 7 seconds of damage been done. Can it be undone? Oh wow, look at Vassar. Really racing hard here on the harder compound tire. Excuse my congestion. Looks like Vassar might be quicker now than Pagenaud. Unbelievable. Just a disaster of a late run here for the 10 team, which could have put him in the lead and probably should have. Instead is now trying to hold off a car on harder compound tires for a second. Oh, look at that. Up here. Here we have Castro Neves. Back on track. Big moment for the 0-3. Caught back up to this battle is Colton Herta now looking on Vassar to the outside. Is he gonna get there? No, almost. Pagenaud clear. Looking now for Montoya. 4 tenths slower that lap. goes Montoya. He's got a healthy lead. Pagenaud trying to get back into a rhythm. See Vassar heading to pit lane with AJ Foyt. Herta now can set his sights on Pagenaud and see if he can go to work and try to reel that 6 car back in. "25 laps remain." Further back, looks like McLaughlin getting to the outside. Nope, not quite. Thought he had a run on Franchitti. This harder compound's working well for the 3 team. Another 4/10 that lap for Montoya. He is consistently just 4/10 quicker than Pagenaud. Herta seems to have a bit more pace though. If Herta can get by the 10, I'm not sure if he can get to Montoya, but he might be a bit quicker. Pagenaud will have to pit first of the leaders. See how much time he picks up through 1 and 2. That's one of the more telling parts of the track. And then let's go on board once again with Colton Herta. Looking to get a podium here at Phillip Island. Capitalize off his win last week at Suzuka. Close the gap in the championship. Craig Moore running mid-pack right now, about 15th, I believe. Still a decent day for the 99, but you need to be finishing in the top 10, I think, at this point in the season, even if you have that points lead. Yeah, he's not even the first Greg on the list. Greg Rafe's right now 13th, Greg Moore 15th. Look at that. Pagenaud pulling away. I didn't see that coming. We jumped on board here. I heard I had a little bit of pace, but 10 car saying, I need to go catch Montoya. I'll see you later. 8 seconds up to this guy. And Montoya, yet to win this season, however, was the pole sitter at Road America. Obviously, road course history for Montoya is well documented. Former F1 driver. Excuse me. Very successful at that. Here's a newer F1 driver. He'll be in the field maybe next season or 2027, 2028. Colton Herta trying to hold off Sebastian Bourdais. Bourdais, though, looking very quick. Wow. Had a huge run down the front stretch. Get into the point, excuse me, where may need only one more stop, so can he make it to the end with that last stop? Alex Pagenaud, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So right now we're on 79. If he pits even on lap 81, that's 20 laps, and we have not seen that all day. Very interesting though when we get out of the pits in this next cycle, see where everyone's at with those that are on the opposite strategy. Montoya crossing the line. A 114.7 that time by. 0.6 quicker than Pagenaud. And a second up on Colton Herta. So incredible pace right now out of the McLaren up front. Pagenaud with the quickest lap of the race right now, 112.408. Bourdais might be the quickest car though right now in the top 5. He is all over the rear wing of Colton Herta here. Freshest tires other than actually Mario Andretti. Mario just behind, but not closing up the way Bourdais is. Really keeping an eye on this car. When does he blink? Oh, this time by, he's in pit lane. That's gonna seal the deal for the 10 team. Hopefully we can still manage an okay finish out of this. We can get a splash and go at the end of the race. But 20 laps to go. The gap is 11 seconds. Look at Bourdais trying to... oh, wow, he almost got there. Almost caused a crash, which that would potentially bring out a full course yellow. There was a crash there. Uh, 11 seconds the lead to Montoya. Montoya continues out on track. Sure, we'll see the same here from Herta and Bourdais. Oh, Herta, he pits. That's going to be it for him, I think. So who's in the catbird seat? That's the big question. We are at 19 laps to go. Be 18 across the line. Here's Bourdais. Got Andretti with a lap fresher, same with Rossi. So could it be Mario and Rossi, Dan Weldon? Could that be your top 3? Let's see what happens here. Staying out, that's huge. Another lap for Montoya. It gets him one more closer to maybe getting this win. I think that he definitely deserves. Bourdais, of course, staying out. So is Andretti. So you're top 3, top 4, top 5 all on track. Sam Hornish Jr. still the only car out of this race. Unfortunate for him and the Panther Racing team. With the throttle stuck, and he went head on into the tire barrier. Car sliding quite a bit now for Montoya at the end of this run. Still putting in really good lap times though. 114.8 the last time by. That might be faster than some people that put together all race long. So here, I think we will see the pit stop. This will put him right at the bubble. Oh boy, and he is in. Now does Bourdais pit? I think he's got an extra lap. So Bourdais can extend it. Push harder. Yeah. Okay. McLaughlin, he's pitting. He's gonna try to get some track position here. Rossi looking for a pass on Mario. Wow. Side by side. He's gonna get done. What a move. Rossi for second. Puts Bourdais out in front. Let's find Pagenaud. Here's Montoya. Out of pit lane. We know he's good. Or is he? Excuse me. Here's Colton Herta. He's not going to make it. Neither will Pagenaud, AJ Foyt. It's really all about this battle right there. Bourdais down pit lane. Rossi and Mario continue. 16 laps to go. You can make it from here. Rossi's pulling away. $114.9 that last time by. Here's Montoya. 12 seconds back of Rossi. He's definitely close enough to take the lead back. But can he make it to the end? And there's nobody within 20 seconds right now of Montoya that can make it to the end. I don't think there's any way Herta does it. Cars in front of Montoya just peel off. That's huge. Gives him more clean air. Back to first. P1 for number 6. There's Hunter Ray. Hinchcliffe, Herta and Pagenaud. Bourdais, here's the first car. So this is 16 seconds off. And this is going to be second place. Wow. What a run by Montoya. Provided he keeps it clean to the finish. Dominant win here. Battle then becomes between Bourdais, McLaughlin, and Rossi, I think, for second, and just being on the podium. Mario lost a few spots on pit lane. Not what he was hoping for. Hunter Ray making his last stop. And there's Montoya all by himself out front. Runs a 113.9 that last time by. Second quicker than these two. heck of a battle here. A lot of different tire strategies, causing a bit of chaos. Rossi going for the move on McLaughlin. Easy. Up into what will be third once these guys all pit. Yeah, Bourdais really struggling to get by Franchitti to see if he could do it down the front stretch. Got to run to the outside. That's what you need. He's going to get this one. Looks like Rossi back there, too, is going to get by Foyt. And Bourdais even going for Sullivan. Gets off the track. Contact with Franchitti. Wow, almost threw it away, and now Rossi's gonna come up and maybe challenge for second here in a lap or so. But Sullivan, I don't think he blocked, but he didn't give him any room. There's Rossi now, right on the rear wing of the Seal Master 18. Coming through quick. Bourdais in the marbles. That's going to give Rossi a spot. Wow. He almost went out into the wall. Having a hard time getting by Danny Sullivan. Now side by side, Rossi and Bourdais. Bourdais gonna send it high. Gonna get the spot this time. And clear of Sullivan for, I think this will be second place. There's no way that Pagenaud makes it. But Rossi's gotta get by and try to put the pressure on Bourdais. Rossi did not have a good line the last time through. Cost him the position to Bourdais by being a little low on entry there. That final corner now clear as Sullivan pits for his last stop. Now it's just a matter of can everyone make it to the finish? There's Paul Tracy all over the rear wing of our leader, Montoya. That's probably not what he wants. Ten to go at the line. I tell you, Montoya is right on the edge of making it. I think Bourdais for sure is the first car that can make it. Montoya right on the edge. And with a 14-second lead, actually an 18-second lead over Bourdais and Rossi, it'd be devastating if he can't make it to the end. Here comes Rossi though, huge run. I think he's gonna put it to Bourdais here into turn one. Have enough to get alongside. No, not quite. Outside though, he's gonna definitely have the speed. But Bourdais great corner. Vassar getting by Foyt. Nice pass forward position. Those two still have to pit here in probably a lap. That's a big pass right before their pit stop. McLaughlin, Michael Andretti, that's for position, maybe top 5. You got Mario just a little further back. So Michael and Mario looking at top 5s maybe. It's probably the best battle on track. Gonna be for second when it's said and done. Maybe even the win. So all eyes on this battle. Both drivers trying to close up on Greg Moore in the points. Ooh, Rossi, huge run into 2. He's going to be a wing to the outside, clear, and through onboard A for second. This could be for the win. Don't forget, that could be a huge pass. 8 to go this next time by. Montoya has done 9 laps. That puts him right at 17. One of our wide shots here. Set the lay of the land before these final few laps. That's Herta down pit lane. Polo continues to stay on track. He's probably got, say, 3 more laps. Rossi having to be a bit defensive here as Bourdais really putting the pressure on down that front stretch. I think he had some push to pass and almost got to Rossi's outside in turn 2. Kept it on down that side stretch. McLaughlin, he's clear of some traffic, so closing up on the 2 in front of him even. Polo staying out on track, 3 seconds ahead of Rossi. Oh, McLaughlin, he's down pit lane. Oh boy, that's the same strategy that Montoya's on. He knew he couldn't make it. Oh, this is going to be close. Agonizingly close. Look at that, by the way. Andretti's 5th and 6th, and then Mansell 7th. Just like they were in practice. Very consistent at the front of the field and finding themselves at the finish of this race. They split their strategy and find themselves both all at the front. And am I seeing this right? Greg Moore is in 8th. Oh my god. Oh, he has to pit though for sure. Oh, big miscalculation on the player team. He's gonna lose a lot of spots. Rossi trying to make up as much time as he can. Not enough time left to do it though. He's gonna need a mistake from our leader. Polo remains on track, so does Rossi and Bourdais. You have to check every lap now because I don't think anyone expected McLaughlin to pit that early. Be 5 to go at the line this next time by. Here's your leader. Montoya's got Dixon and Villeneuve behind. Not for position, obviously. Oh, pit lane, Montoya. Huge moment. Oh man, how much of a lead does he have? Is it enough to still come out of the pits in front of Alexander Rossi? Yep, I don't think so. Rossi's coming around the final corner. Bourdais, second and a half back. Rossi's gonna take the lead from Montoya. Oh, heartbreaking. He's coming out of pit lane. There's a couple more spots. There goes Greg Moore. Back on track, still in the top 10. Greg Moore's gonna have to stop. Pagenaud, for sure gonna have to stop. Oh my goodness. And then here, you have Mario going for a move on Michael Andretti, Nigel Mansell pit. Oh, Herta is sideways. There's your points leader, Greg Moore. Leader of 90% of this race, 95% even, I'll go as far to say. Montoya in 7th. Less than 5 laps to go. Here's Rossi. Past pit lane. Pagenaud's down. The gap is 2.5 seconds. 2 seconds for Rossi over Bourdais. Here's the battle to get on the podium. Can they even make it to the end? Michael Andretti's got to be pinching. Just breathing the gas so ever slightly. Here comes Montoya. He's up back into 5th. Trying to get back on the podium. I swear, the lead is right here. It's not far. I would not put it out of the realm of possibility for Montoya to somehow pull this off. Rossi up the hill, looking clean. As long as he's got enough fuel, he's pulling away. Here's the battle for 3rd. Montoya is there. I think Mario should have enough to get to the end. I just don't think Michael does. And right here, they're all 3 converging into turn 1. Mario being patient, maybe gonna look high. No, that's gonna be Montoya. Trying to get a spot. Can't get there. Might do it here into the hairpin. That is 3 laps to go. Holy cow. If he could have got by right there, the gap's down to 5.5 seconds in 1 lap. But the time he's going to lose down the straightaways here, just too much. And speaking of 2, we will be 2 laps to go. At the line, Bourdais. Does Michael Andretti have enough here? Does he pit? Staying out. Look at Montoya. He's going to get alongside Andretti down the front stretch. So he will make a pass into 1. Certainly attempt to. I think he's going to maybe try to go high here into 2. If he did the lap before. 4, a little more under control here. Well done, but can't complete it with the marbles there. Rossi, 2 laps to go. Montoya's just got to be thinking, what if? What if these guys weren't here? I could have maybe tracked down one more spot. Michael's ready, staying out. He's got enough. It's going to be the white flag here. Rossi, 1 to go at Phillip Island, looking for his first win on the year. Here's the battle for 3rd. Mario Michael, side by side. Montoya's gonna shove it for 4th. Wow, Michael loses 2 spots on the last lap. Oh no. Does Montoya have enough now to make a shot at Mario into the hairpin? Not quite. Back to the leader. What a race for Alexander Rossi. He's coming around. Final couple corners as the last real challenge. It's got a 3-second gap. Final corner. Alexander Rossi's gonna win here at Phillip Island. Close up his gap on the leader in the point standings. Maybe get back to 2nd. We'll have to see when the points are all settled. But winner at Phillip Island, Alexander Rossi. Well done. 2nd place gonna go to Sebastian Bourdais. 3rd, Mario Andretti. 4th, Juan Montoya. 5th, Michael Andretti. What a race. See if we can track down where Greg Moore wound up, because that is going to be a huge... '25th, wow. And Colton Herta definitely finished higher than that. Point standings will be updated for the next race, but Greg Moore should still be the points leader, headed back to Homestead. And then double points at Daytona on the road course. We had 2 cars a lap down, Elio Castroneves, Scott Dixon. And Jacques Villeneuve was 3 laps down. Hornish, DNF today, the only car not finishing. Let's go ahead and check the incidents. Oh yeah, let's check driver of the day too. 15th to 1st. I think that is driver of the day. Yep. Alexander Rossi. I'll take that home. So here's, ooh, Dixon. Wow, spins in turn 1 with Greg Ray. That explains why Ray lost some spots. There's Castro Neves with... Oh, is that Greg Moore? Wow, he got lucky. Okay, here's an interesting one. Oof. Lap 36. Pushing Unser Jr. Wow. What is going on? Dixon's definitely going to get a penalty for that. Wow. Probation for Scott Dixon. Ooh. cut off those. Dude, I have Paul Tracy there. Oh my gosh. Willpower. Off and hits the wall. And same thing for Castroneves. We actually saw that live. There's Dixon. Again gets loose in the same spot. Holds up Villeneuve. Oh, this could have been a caution. Here's Franchitti. Oof. And that does it. Take a look at the results one more time. We'll get Dixon on probation. Driver of the day, Alexander Rossi. 2 hours, 10 minutes the race. Rossi, Bourdais, Mario Andretti. That's the podium. Montoya and Michael Andretti, the top 5. Dan Weldon, Pato Award, Tony Stewart, Rick Mears, and Emerson Fittipaldi, the top 10. Take a look through the field. And we'll go ahead and close out this session. Hope you all enjoyed today's race. We'll be back next next broadcast will be the Stock Car Championship Series. So that will be, I believe, at Chicagoland. So we will see you then. Make sure to tune in, subscribe, and like. And hope you all have a great rest of the week.